Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. It's your boy Davion, and we're going to talk about Funky Dineva's Enough with Everyone Hates This Black Women bullshit. If any of you guys follow Funky Dineva, then you guys caught the two uploads this morning that did put a lot of motherfuckers in their feelings. And I know the type of persons he was speaking about. I knew they were going to run with the things he was saying in this video and really make a whole thing of it. Now I'm going to talk about what I think is interesting about what he said. Whether black women, you guys want to admit that there are women who have hijacked the women's equality movement and the Me Too movement, who use it as a way to ventilate their own bitterness and resentfulness toward black men or toward men in general, or who use aligning themselves with these movements for any other purpose other than what these movements have been created for. Is true nonetheless. There are women who have hijacked the social equality movement, who disguise themselves as women who are fighting for equality, who just want to talk shit. They just want to be in the fight club. There are people who have hijacked the Black Lives Matter movement who just want to be in the fight club. They do not have any real interest and investment in the movement, in actual equality. These are just bitter, mad ass people who find a movement where people are allowed to be honest about their feelings about a particular social dynamic. And there are people who move into those movements and kind of takes the conversation elsewhere, away from the main point, because they just need a space to fucking vent. And this has happened within all the movements. So you have the women's movement, where you have bullshit ass damaged women who just hate fucking men. They don't care about equality. They don't care about what's important for women. They don't care about changing the narrative. They just mad at their experience, and they just want to use the movement to just pound away at men, and they don't care for a resolve and will not be participating in any of the remedies that will resolve things between men and women in this country. You have the Hotep niggas who hijacked the Black Lives Matter movement, which was simply just about bringing social, political, law-based justice to the black minority community. But you have Hotep men and women who came into the movement because it was a space where black people were able to be honest and be assertive about their grievance toward the injustice they were suffering, and used the movement to perpetuate this rhetoric about anti-whiteness. Even with the LGBT movement, you had LGBT persons who were fighting for their rights, and then you had those really damaged LGBT persons who used the movement in order to ventilate feelings about the heterosexual community, and they disguised themselves as being activists for the community in order to just talk shit about straight people. And so we have to be honest about the fact that there will always be people who will hijack any movement and use them for ulterior purposes, use them to fulfill another agenda that they have. And so not all women who are speaking out are not using these platforms speaking genuinely toward issues that they really stand behind. They just use them to draw attention to themselves. I remember when the T.S. Madison and Kaya drama first popped off, and I was like uploading videos, and I was, giving my commentary on what was going on, and literally, like, I had like a few women who were like, "You shouldn't be talking against a black woman. Oh my God." What the fuck? Where does this bullshit ass thinking come from? As a black man who has relations to black women, you don't think that I have a right to critique black women? You don't think I have a right to check black women? Like, what fucking world are you raised up in? Just like I don't tell women that they can't say anything to men when they're saying that all niggas ain't shit, black men are trash. I don't address those things because I know that women have a point. There are trash ass niggas. There are trash ass black men. We live under a fucking patriarch that oppresses all things that are feminine, which is why gay men and black women oftentimes end up in relationship together, because we pretty much suffer the same under this fucking umbrella of patriarchy. So we're like siblings in this world of oppression and marginalization. So there's a lot of similarities in terms of the issues and the obstacles that both parties are trying to transcend and overcome. But to say that because you are a black woman and you're not a man, that you can't be critical of men, of course you fucking can. You fuck men, you date men, you interact with men, you participate in bringing black men and bringing the lives of men into this world as being an incubator for fucking life. you certainly have the freedom to criticize men when you see fit. In that way, it goes both ways. You have like this minority within the minority of these movements who are saying, oh, you're a man, so simply because you're a fucking man, you can't be critical, you can't call black women out. Bullshit. Anybody can be called out any given day for any motherfucking reason. I can't speak for all people, but I can speak for me. I deal with principle, and so I don't really care that it's a man or it's a woman who is out of line. For me, if you are wrong in principle, I'm critiquing that ass. Period. I don't give a fuck about gender. I don't see gender. I don't see color. I don't see none of that. I see human beings who get it right sometime and get it wrong sometime. And when shit becomes problematic, whether you white, whether you black, whether you old, whether you young, whether you a child, whether you a teenager, whether you a man, whether you a woman, whether you're trans, don't give no fucks about it. Who gonna check me, boo? Me, bitch. I'm gonna check you. I'm gonna check all motherfuckers. I hate that there are these like people who troll these social movements and they hijack them and they kind of derail us from the point of why we're even fighting for women's equality or fighting for LGBT rights or fighting for Black lives, because all these other alternative agendas and narratives get projected into the conversations, and then before you know it, we're fighting amongst each other rather than unifying and fighting on behalf of one another to get things done that are in the best interest of that community's particular interests and desires. So it ends up being a real distraction, and then we end up having to have these type of conversations where we have to set the fucking record clear instead of just being able to proceed in justice for all people. As a black man, I was raised by a very strong black woman. My mother is one of the baddest bitches I will ever know in my entire life. I've never met a stronger woman, a more enduring woman, a woman with such tenacity and courage and beauty and zeal and independence. My mother is the holy grail of women, and I come from a long line of powerful, strong black women who are not perfect by any means, but were strong and amazing within their own fucking right. So I would never take anything away from black women and their critique of men, because as a black man, I know my own male privilege, and as a black man, I know how trash niggas are. I know what niggas think about women. I know the type of conversations men have with other men about women, and a lot of it is fucking trash, 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 trash. And we see that in this inability for men to really get on the right foot with fucking women. And I totally blame that on fucking men, because in a patriarchy, men have the power, therefore they control the fucking narrative and the standards. And so if things are not right in terms of women being imbalanced when it comes to the way women relate and interact with men, and not being able to get fulfilling relationships and fulfilling affection and have a fulfilling encounter romantically, platonically, etc., without the male ego, without dealing with black men's inability to want to open up emotionally and developing a healthy emotional capacity, and all the bullshit that women have to deal with when it comes to black men, because black men also suffer under that patriarchy that also oppresses them. But because they're men, they still have a privilege over women nonetheless, even though they are oppressed as fucking well. But black women have always held black men down. They've always been the greater and better half of the relationship, and that's why I'm here for women trash talking the shit about men. I just did a live with a heterosexual friend of mine, and hell, I felt like I was a black woman speaking on behalf of fucking black women to this fucking black man, because I really get it. And I don't feel like because I'm a man I should have a bias or have a allegiance to other men. If men are fucking wrong, men are fucking wrong. Wrong is wrong and right is right. So what I hope going forward is that I can see more card-carrying women's empowerment females calling out the bullshit females who make this look bad for the women who are really in this thing for justice and for evolution. There's going to be a lot of conversations actually going on this platform, where I'm going to be facilitating conversation between black men and black women, and us hashing some of this shit out. So I just think everybody should just get honest about the fact that we all got bullshit people within our movements, and we all got bullshit people within our communities. As a gay man, there are bullshit gays within the community. As a black man, there are bullshit black ass men who are fucking trash. There are some black women who are fucking trash. These things are just fucking true. No one gender, no one religion exempts anyone from being fucking perfect. These traits don't have anything to do with fucking gender or ethnicity. Like, toxicity and negativity and greed and selfishness and insensitivity have to do with the human nature. So can we at least agree that the best way for us to move forward as black people, as black gay men and women, as black straight men and women, that we have to proceed and be honest about some of the members of our communities not being proper representation, not being the people who should be taken seriously, because they're not in it to be taken seriously. They're in it just for their own rage. You guys give me your feedback about some of the points that Funky Dineva was pointing out about this particular group of black women within the black women's community who are disingenuous. Let me know below. And what do you guys think that we can do as black men and black women to have a better dialogue? Because we all are going to have to do our share in listening. We're going to have to do that in order to get anywhere. So all of this finger pointing and being overly sensitive, and you can't say this because I'm so easily offended. Like, we're going to have to sit through some of these conversations, and there's going to have to be some back and forth and some dialogue for us to figure this shit out. But just silencing people because you feel that they're pointing out something that's not really important to you or significant to you, or something that you believe does not support the empowerment that's trying to be perpetuated and manifested. Regardless, we have to talk through it all to get there. And just holding people's neck down with our foot isn't going to bring about any real conversation and perspective. But you guys share, rate, comment, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next upload.